Hey everyone, my name is Chloe and this is my show Miss Chlo, where I try to make learning and critical thinking more contagious. I am with Attorney Leigh again
Hi!
yeah.
Third episode, wearing the same
Yes.
shirt, repping the same team. And unfortunately, he no longer plays for the Clippers, but it's fine. I've moved on.
Yep, so our episode for today is NBA. Just kidding. No, but we are going to talk about friendships in your mid-20s.
Yes.
Yes. So we've mentioned in our first episode that we have been friends for 9 years already, right? Can you imagine such a long time, right? But I've mentioned also that in your mid-20s, it's quite different. Making friends or retaining friendships, it's quite different in your mid-20s, more so because it feels like such a long time from your early 20s. So we kind of developed our friendship, our 9 years of friendship, differently, when we are still teenagers in college up to now that we have our own careers already. I feel like
That's so weird to say. It's
right?
so weird to say.
Right? We started from being classmates for
From
almost
the
all
bottom, now
subjects.
we here.
No. No copyrighted songs.
Oops.
Yeah, but yeah, we started from being friends in college, where we are classmates for all our subjects, group mates for all the group works, all the assignments,
Yeah.
right? But now
Yeah.
we are literally don't get to talk unless you're doing an episode or
Yeah,
we don't
I was
get to talk
thinking
that much.
about it.
Mhm.
I was thinking about it, and I think the last time I saw you was more than a year ago.
Right when you finish taking the bar, I think.
No, we didn't get to see each
Yes,
other
we
then.
did. We
Did
did.
we?
Yes.
Where?
I mean, where else?
Really?
Yes,
Oh
we
wait,
did.
yeah. We did. Right. Because you
Right.
picked me up in my home.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Right.
we
Okay.
rarely get to see
So
each other, right?
it's
And
not more than a year. Okay.
we don't really get to talk daily
Yeah, it's
anymore,
not
right?
24/7.
Right?
Yeah,
But
it's not.
literally, we can take months without talking, and I would send you something like a new episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and you would be like, yeah, that's right. That's the bare minimum.
And that's
of
good.
our friendship. Yeah, that's good. I mean,
and we're fine with that.
yeah, so but we're still very close friends. I mean, as you can see, right?
Yeah.
But if you would describe your close networks that you have right now in this stage of your life, how would you describe it?
It is very, very small.
Mhm.
Very
Same.
like
how
very
small are you talking about? Like 10?
less than 10. If I
Mhm.
consider like really close network, it's less than 10.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm talking about people where I would not be afraid of being judged.
Mm-hmm.
Um
I mean, their opinions matters most, right? For you.
Yeah.
So basically,
It's a group of people where I respect them a lot, and I respect what they have to say, but also I'm not afraid to be myself around them, because I feel like, especially in your 20s, you develop certain personas depending on who you're talking to, like if it's an employer or your parents or your family. It's just you have different characters. I'll put it that way. When you're talking to them, but I can truly say, genuinely say that for these people that I keep in my life, that I could be my complete self around them. And it would be things wherein other people that have met me in passing, like they wouldn't believe that I'm that kind of person, but these people would be like, yeah, that's Leigh. That's, and they don't call me Leigh.
Yeah.
And these are people who don't know me as Leigh. These
They
are
don't call me Miss Chlo.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Because I think in your life you kind of trim down your friends. Like for example, before 9 years, we were friends with a bunch of people in our blockmates, our block.
Yeah,
basically. They're
I
all
think
our friends. Right?
I think even like in grade school and in high school, friends meant the more the merrier, you know?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Even until your early 20s, right? You make as much friends as you can. For
not
most
me.
people.
Not me.
Yeah, not
Yeah,
us, but for most people, right?
just because I don't like socializing.
Yeah, that's why we are friends.
So
It's hard to make friends for us, so we keep our friends.
I just keep the ones I already have.
They're more than enough.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's not that it's not because I'm snobbish or whatever. It's just that it's hard for me to initiate friendships or initiate even just conversations with other people, even though I would want to. But it's just hard, so it's more of me just kind of waiting if somebody would talk to me, and then hopefully we could be friends. But yeah, I think you
But
froze
also,
again. We back.
But also, I think you develop learning about yourself. You develop as a person already. You already know who you are. So sometimes, who you are, you would also want to have friends that are similar to what you like, your personality, right? So I think that's the reasons why friendships like ours last also, because of how similar our personalities are. Like we literally have the same taste in, I mean, art, literature, right? We almost have the same taste in comedy shows, except for one that you watch that I don't.
But you have to give it a chance. You have to give the Good Place a chance.
You have to give them a backtrack.
Just think about it. Just think about it.
You don't know what you're talking about. They have to
The Good Place.
they have to go through the episode 2 and then
find it there. Just think about it. I like it, then most likely you would like it too.
Yes, I know. I mean, that's how we decide on things. If Tuchay likes it or Attorney likes it, I would probably like it also. But yeah, so we have complete same taste in a lot of things, but we also do completely different things in terms of our jobs, maybe our lifestyle. I'm more outdoorsy. I like hiking, I like being active, but we still have that.
I haven't seen the sun in like 2 years.
2 years. You're a vampire. but we developed this personality, same personality. I guess that's why we really jive with each other. Also, I took my Myers-Briggs personality test again after many years. I take it like every once in a while, just because I think it was my sister who told me that it changes along the way, especially if your environment changes also. It doesn't change drastically, like you're gonna have a personality disorder if it changes drastically over time, right? Okay. But one thing would change definitely. So now I have been INFJ for so long, and I think you are too, right? For a long time. But
I'm an INFP.
Now I am INFP. C. Right. So
okay.
Yeah. So
I haven't taken it again. So
you
maybe
should take it. Yeah. So we are both introvert, right? So I think we really relate to each other a lot. So like if you go through the previous episode, we talk about a lot of our hyperfixation. So yeah, go to that episode. We don't wanna
link.
yeah, we're
Put the link here. I'm gonna point different directions and make it harder for you to edit.
It's hard. It's in the description. Okay.
Okay, there you go.
Right. So actually, there is this thing. It's a concept. It's called homophily. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but homophily, that means people tend to be friends with similar others or people who have same interests. So that's why we tend to be friends with the friends of our friends. Right. So it's a common human nature for us
Is this what
to.
Facebook is doing?
Yes.
Suggested friends.
Yes, I mean all the marketing campaigns, all that marketing platforms, it's always based on psychological drivers. So I'm pretty sure it's one of those things that they know that we tend to be friends with friends. So that's why they have settings na add a friend or custom, right? So that's psychological drivers for you.
Okay.
So yeah, that's why our friendship lasts, right? So I wanted to ask also how you keep friends in your mid-20s, right? Do you have close friends before that you're no longer close with? I mean, I know, but if you want to share something.
Okay. I think that's what the episode is for.
That's what you wanted to talk about, right? You like it.
No. Okay. How to maintain friends is your first question?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
In your 20s. Well, again, I think we have to categorize when we mean by friends. Like, really, really close friends, like my real inner circle. I don't like saying that, but my inner circle. Fortunately, I have super low maintenance friends.
The bare minimum friends.
Yeah, like us, where we could go on months without talking to each other, and then you just sort of suggest this new idea that you have, and I'm like, sure, let's do it. And it's like, that's fine, and it's like just going just starting from not starting. Anyway, edit this part out because my mind is
went somewhere else.
Yes. Anyway, my point was that I have friends where I don't get to talk to them for months on end, but when we do talk, it's like nothing happened. It's like not a lot of time passed. And it's a lot of just, oh hey, how are you? And I think a big factor in keeping friends is having social media, because you don't talk to them. Like, for example, for the both of us, I don't talk to you every day. I don't know what happened to you today, but if I see posts here and there, stories here and there, then it feels like I have some idea of what's going on with your life, so I don't feel like too out of the loop. And then if I feel that you have certain posts, not just you, but with our other friends, that certain post that sort of tells me this, she needs to talk to someone, and then that's when like, hey, are you okay? Hey, what's up? But just in every day, because I think it's too much to ask from another person to always check up on you, and to always, and then that's your definition of friendship, that you have to talk to me every day, you have to ask me what's going on in my life every day. I think that's just too much.
Well, for us, but it's completely fine if that's your definition of friendship. Right?
If that's
you have
your,
to talk
your
with,
friendship language.
Friendship language.
Yes, if you also find someone like that. Yeah. But I guess, but for me, it's that it's just knowing what's going on through social media, and then checking up on that person
Mm-hmm.
once in a while. And also, again, because we're talking about maintaining friendships in your
Mm-hmm.
20s, it's accepting the fact that you don't have that time that you had when you were in your
Mm-hmm.
teenage years. um you know,
Mm-hmm.
because as soon as school ends and you're done with your homework, then you have all the time in the world. But
Yeah.
now, especially in our jobs, sometimes it doesn't stop when you clock out of work,
Mm-hmm.
because you bring your work with you at home.
Other
And
important stuff,
sometimes you just,
right?
yeah, and then just sometimes you just want to spend more time on it. So yeah, it's just having low maintenance friendships for my case. Okay, for my
Yeah.
case in my 20s, having low maintenance friendships, but saying hi and hello every once in a while, or major milestones in our lives, birthdays, whenever that person accomplishes something or is going through something and just needs a
Mm-hmm.
friend, then there, and then that acceptance that the person is spending a lot of time on other things,
Yeah.
and it doesn't mean that he or she values your person or your friendship any less just because he or she is giving you less time as before.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it for me in a nutshell.
Yeah. So that's the end of the episode.
Okay, thank you.
Just kidding. So I wanted to ask you something. Have you? I'm sure that you've come across this term, toxic friends. Have you ever
Yes,
had
yes, yes,
experiences
yes.
like that? Because for me, like I've mentioned, I'm not necessarily good at really making friends because I'm such an introvert. Right? I I want people to talk to me first. I'm not gonna talk to them first. But I've come across uh this toxic friends already. It has happened to me, but I was so young that I really didn't see that it's happening, right? They were taking
Mm.
advantage of my
Yeah,
resources, for their own gain. But for
yeah.
someone who like you, who has an attorney to its name, and then you've had that, I mean, we both don't like the term, but you are kind of an influencer already because you were in media, right? You're still in the media. So
Mm.
have you ever had those experiences with toxicity in terms of friendships, right? Or whom you consider friends, or so we thought.
I mean, you know,
Yeah, I
uh,
know.
yeah,
You can do
yeah.
it.
I think that, yeah, I can do it. Yeah, I think that's a very, unfortunately, it's a normal thing,
Okay.
to uh experience one toxic friend, or more, or two.
Mm-hmm.
um I think that's very normal, and but it's also a learning experience,
Mm-hmm.
because, like you said, when you were younger, you didn't know that that friend was toxic, or you don't even refer to that person as a friend, because
Mm-hmm.
friends shouldn't be toxic. um that toxic person. But now, because now that you know that that person was toxic, now you can see that, like, early signs, or the red flags in
Mm-hmm.
people when you see them, that, oh, when this person does this, it's because he or she wants something from me.
Mm-hmm.
um
What are
yeah,
those
so
red flags that you could point out? Like I've mentioned earlier,
right
they
off
just
the
wanted,
bat.
because for me, an example would be, because in my early 20s, I was already driving my own car. So this
Mm-hmm.
friend would come to me constantly about, giving them a ride, so like, I mean, I think that's a very common, but also, I mean, I'm 20, right? I don't have a lot of money for gas, but since we are friends, I would give that resource to them for them to use, and I would be a designated driver, where I realized that I was only being kept as a friend just because I have that resource that I have. So
Mm-hmm.
boo those people. So for you.
Yeah, that's definitely a red flag. Like
Mm,
someone who just pops up when he or she needs something from you.
yeah.
Not even, but funnily enough, I think the more toxic person for me is someone who asks you, "Oh, hey, how are you? We haven't talked in a while. I miss you." And then you kind of keep the conversation going. And then, "Oh, hey, by the way, don't you work here at this
Oh.
place? Can you kind of hook me up with like okay, that's why. Like that's why
Mm-hmm.
you were reaching out in the first place." Yeah, I think that's, at least for me, that's a red flag. At least, you know, be upfront of what you're trying to accomplish, because again, we have to categorize with friendships and networks of people,
Mm-hmm.
because it's fine to keep, you know, networks of people where, okay, this person is not my friend, meaning he's not someone I'm going to talk to about my problems.
Mm-hmm.
But
Maybe
it's
someone
okay
who is
to,
a network in a professional sense, right? Or
yeah, exactly. Like
something
it's
else.
nice to be friendly with this
Mm-hmm.
person
Mm-hmm.
because we may have future relationships in business together. So it's
Mm-hmm.
nice to just keep their contact, but not, you know, not pretend to be friends with them. Again, it's not somebody that I would go to with my problems. It's just someone I'd keep as a network of for my network of people for,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm also not very good at that. um but yeah.
He's gonna learn.
So but in terms of toxic friends, of course, you know this, you know that I have experienced this.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very hard, but I knew I made the right decision of cutting ties with this person.
Mm-hmm.
When I did it, I felt immediately better. Like
Mm-hmm.
I felt that, yeah, that was a problem area in my life. Keeping that person and that person's energy in my life
Mm-hmm.
wasn't doing anything to help me improve as a person. It's not a matter of, oh, I'm not getting anything from that person. Like I'm not
Mm-hmm.
gaining anything materially. um the people, like my influence is not expanding because of that
Mm-hmm.
person. It's
Mm-hmm.
not that. It's that that personal growth that I feel like, because this person is so toxic to me in my life, it's actually stopping me from becoming a better person.
Mm-hmm.
Or yeah, so when I realized that this person has to go, like I need to stop being friends with this person. And I did that, and I cut ties with that person, and I'm okay. And I think what's different in your 20s compared to
Mm-hmm.
when you were a teenager
Mm-hmm.
is that when you're a teenager, um there's that tendency to badmouth that person, like, oh, don't
Yeah.
be friends with him or
Yeah.
her because
She's kind of
she's
like
this,
this.
she's, yeah. And the difference when you're 20s, you don't do that.
Yeah.
It's not, hey, you can still be friends with her, but I don't want to be friends with her anymore, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't go around saying, oh, she did this and she did
Yeah,
that,
she's
that's why
not
I'm
my
not friends
friend
with her.
anymore.
Yeah, it's not, no, it's just a matter of fact. It happens. People drift apart.
Mm-hmm.
People realize that
They have different
keeping,
developments, right? I mean, you have
yeah,
to develop on your own. The same way she has to develop also, and maybe that's fine. You grew apart, so I think
yeah,
it
and
should
that's,
be a complete normal thing, right? You
yeah,
can
it
be
is,
sad about it.
because I don't think you're still friends with all the friends you made ever since you were born. And that's just a matter of fact in life.
I would answer this also. I co- like my boyfriend. He has a complete different personality
That's,
from me.
by the way, for the record, that's the first time she ever referred to him as
No, it's not.
No, around me.
Yeah, around you. But
like,
yeah, but yeah, definitely we have complete different personalities. Like I've mentioned, I am INFPT. He is a ESTP. Yeah, I think that's right. So he is extroverted. He thinks more critically, logically than me, who thinks emotionally. But I think in some way, although we have complete different personalities, we have different political views, it kind of just works. I feel like in some of the things that I do, for example, I started two businesses this year, and I've been thinking about creating my own business for years, and I couldn't find myself doing it just because I feel like I'm too introverted, and I'm too into my head. I feel my stress too much. I feel emotions too much. And something that I learned also in the Myers-Briggs is that I think too much of the fiction, right? So I don't delve too much on reality in my, in the yeah. So it's I don't know. It's just my personality. That's why I also I think that's why I also hyperfixate on series and TV series and sitcoms and comedy shows. It's because it's fiction, so it's hard for me to push myself to do something so concrete. So that's why his personality is such a puzzle piece that I needed, because it pushed me to do things that I would never do. So it sort of like completes complete completes me. Oh no! Oh no! So yeah,
Why are you saying oh no?
Oh no, it's cheesy.
That's a good thing.
Right. So I think that it's a matter of finding friends in such a good timing also, that sometimes it just pushes you to do things that you would never have done before in a good way, hopefully in a good way.
Yeah.
So that's what I think I learned also in maintaining and making friends in my 20s. Now in my 20s, that I have a clear vision of the career I wanted. I have more time, I have resources, I am being paid for my skills, right? So I think, yeah, it's important for me to keep my friends close, really, and those people that gives value to me.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't want to keep friends that are just there for me, just there to have a piece of what I have, right? So that's why also, yeah. So I think it's important that you think about it also in your mid 20s, where because it's your mid 20s, like I said earlier, it's the time where you would really think about your life more, like your self-development more. Like it's the time of a quarter life crisis. So do you have those networks already, that when you have that what am I doing with my life moment, would they be there for you, or would they leave you, or would they have their own fun with you, diba?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think what's really important in your 20s, it's so weird to say that, like, in your 20s,
Mid-20s. Late
your
20s.
mid-20s. I think something that I learned as I got older is that it's okay, actually it's more than okay, to have people around you who don't necessarily agree with you all the time,
Mm-hmm.
because then you see other people's perspective, then you experience people in a very like in close proximity within you, people who don't agree with your views, and then challenges those views, which is good, because you
Yeah, you
can't
learn.
always, yeah, exactly, because how do you develop as a person if all you hear all your life is, yeah, that's a good idea, yeah, you should do
Mm-hmm.
that, yes, it's always yes, 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 yes. it doesn't help you grow as a person. It doesn't help your views as a person develop, because it's not being challenged. You're not discussing it.
Mhm.
Yeah, so definitely, whether it's a conscious choice or not, for me, I welcome people who are don't always agree with me. Like you
Mhm.
said, you have people, or your boyfriend, you have different political views, um and I guess that's something that we should have uh some access to, which is, differing opinions,
Mhm.
because then it's
Dissent.
not, yeah, because then it's not surprising when
Mhm.
someone disagrees with you. You don't take
It
it
shouldn't be.
personally. You
Yes.
don't, yeah, because you're so used to it. And also, because you're used to differing views, you know how to defend your own if you think
Mhm.
that you're right,
Mm.
because you've already challenged that belief, that idea that you have. So yeah, in terms of keeping friends in your 20s, just for personal growth, but you also need to sort of have that fine, it's a very fine line of someone who challenges you, therefore makes you a better person, helps you
Yeah.
become a better person, and someone who just likes to disagree with you. Like, someone is just a contrarian, and like whatever
Yeah.
you do, they just don't agree with it. So it's a very fine
Mhm.
line,
Yeah.
but it's something that you learn to discern as you
Yeah.
grow older. And
Yeah.
again, it's sort of one of the secrets to life, which I still don't know.
It
um,
depends. I already told you. It's always it depends, right?
yeah.
Yeah, so
So there,
I
yeah.
like that. I like that. You always need someone or something that would open your mind to be, I mean, you have to be open minded. You have to have that, or to build that tolerance for dissent and for debate,
Hmm.
because that's how you learn, really. Right. So
Yes,
that's how you
exactly.
find the meaning of life.
Because there's no just one way of thinking things. There are so many perspectives that you have to listen to, and you need to learn to listen. And I guess it starts with, your closest friends, because if
Mhm.
you can't listen to your closest friends when they have differing views, then
Mhm.
maybe you should take a hard look at yourself. And
You might need developing to do.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, especially if you're in your mid 20s, you have to have that clear um, projection of where you are already, or it's something that is very common towards mid 20s. You don't have to, but sometimes this is the part where you really take a step back. What am I doing with my life? And this is the time where you set your priorities, right? And think about your future. Think about maybe developing your career, or maybe starting a family, or creating your own business opportunities, or investing your money, right? So that's, you think about the things that matter now that you have more resources now, and you develop yourself more, you know yourself more. So that's the things that matters, that you want to consider, and you want to have those support groups. Always mention this, your close networks would always be your support groups, right? And there is this thinking that if your close networks does not necessarily support your priorities, like you can cut ties with them. You can, but also you can also develop this learning process in your close networks to kind of um, make make your I mean, make learning contagious in your close friends, because that's how you make things, that's how things catch on. That's how you make things contagious, if you influence your close networks first, or the
Yeah.
people that you have relationship levels already, that is part of your network. So if you really want to have that influence, yeah, of positivity in your life, you start with your close networks, with your friends. So I think it's important, especially now. It's a crucial part of youth. Kasi, di ba? Don't you agree, di ba? It's a crucial part of youth. But I mean, it's not the rules basically na you have to have good friends in your mid-20s. You have to have good friends even along the way, diba? In your 30s, in your
Yeah.
40s, right? It's not just your
Yeah.
youth, right? But we
Also,
are,
I guess,
yeah, go ahead.
I think I have to just emphasize, I know sometimes it's scary to cut ties with
Mm-hmm.
people, especially if you've known this person for so long, because of course you have to consider the things that you've gone through with that person. But again, if you feel that just personally this person just no longer sparks joy.
You
um
have to Marie Kondo out of your life.
I mean, it's a hard decision to make, but it's something that you have to make for yourself, to be better. And again, it doesn't, like, cutting ties with someone doesn't mean like you're gonna badmouth that person and you're gonna ruin their lives. You're gonna cancel them. Sometimes it's just merely no longer talking to that person or no longer going to that person for certain problems because you're not really getting the answers that you need or that you want, but more so that you need. Yeah, and maybe you just don't trust that person anymore because you're coming to another person with your personal problems, so it
Mhm.
has to be someone who not only has some opinion on it and an opinion that you value, but someone you can trust a secret with. And if you
Mhm.
feel like you can't do that with that person anymore, then it's fine. Just stop talking to that person with your
Yeah.
problems.
I mean, you don't have to unfriend them, block them, or
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
unfollow them in everywhere. Don't be
Although if
petty.
it helps,
I mean, if it
if it
helps,
helps.
but you're petty like that.
No, but because sometimes it's restricting access to you, like
Mhm.
it's restricting them access to your personal information to you, because again, maybe sometimes that friend abused your trust, and
Mhm.
therefore you no longer feel comfortable giving them certain information about you, because if you're on social media,
Mhm.
especially if it's Facebook or Twitter, you tend to say a lot of your personal beliefs and
Yeah.
your personal ideas,
Mhm.
and that's one way of controlling your audience, so to speak, which is to block or unfriend, or what else can you unfollow. Yeah, so it's fine is what I'm
Yeah.
saying. It doesn't always mean that you're petty.
Yeah. All right. All right. So yeah, I think we've covered everything about. I
Have
mean, not
we?
everything about friendship, but do you have anything else that you want to share in this topic?
Well, about this topic, something also I think that's very important in your 20s. I'm going to always say that in your 20s, um, is to have different people to approach
Mm-hmm.
about different things that are happening in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just to put it more concretely, it's I have in my friend group, I have certain people I would go to depending on what I'm going through.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's uh let's say, I like off the top of my head, if it like because before I would do covers of songs and whatever.
Yeah.
So I would talk to RV about that because she also does that and is more musically inclined. Or if we're talking
Yeah.
about or even as simple as shows that I like, I know who to
Mm-hmm.
go to depending on that particular show. Like, for example, I knew to recommend Middle Ditch and Schwartz to you, and I didn't recommend it to all our other friends because I don't know if they would appreciate it as much as you did, and you do. So I'm very happy that you liked it. But yeah, but in
The little
the
wins in friendship.
yeah, it's like
Yes.
I know you two.
Sap of approval.
Yes. I know you as well. You can relate to that you
Mhm.
go to different people depending on whatever
Yeah.
issue you're going through, because you just
Yeah.
feel like this person has more experience with that sort of problem, or is more understanding in a way, or just just things like that. And I think that's very important, that you have go-to people in your friend group. And it
Yeah, I
again,
think it's all about perspective also. Diba? They have different perspectives on more people, and again, it depends also. It depends.
sometimes it could just be your dog. Because
yeah. If you're sad,
sometimes
right?
you don't want them to reply, you just want someone who's there to hug, like my dog, who's
That's
right
a good one.
here.
My dog is here also. I will show you my
Oh,
dog.
wait, okay, I'll try.
Wait,
No, but he's too heavy. My dog is too heavy. Oh, is that Mayon?
Where's the thing? Yes, this is Mayan. Look,
Show them your
tawagin
teeth.
mo siya.
Mayon. Hi, hi.
Ikaw.
That's so weird. For the views.
Clickbait! We talk about friendship, and that includes your dogs.
Your
That's
best
a key
friend.
thing. Yes, that's the reason why you're best friends. Yeah, that's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I think, do you have anything else?
No,
There.
I just because when we were talking about this episode, I specifically said that, oh, we could talk about Middleditch and Schwartz because they've been doing it for so long, and it's like they're best friends and it works. But never mind, we've already talked about them.
Too much, and we'll talk
Yeah.
about them in one episode if you like. Comment. Please watch it.
Please, can you if somebody out there who's watching this knows Ben Schwartz personally, please tell him that we want
Thomas.
and Thomas Middleditch, we want them on her podcast.
That's gonna be our call to action in every episode. Just try to connect it with the ditch and Schwartz. And for all of you, all 56 of you who watch our episode, just kidding.
Every view counts.
Please watch it. We need more episodes, seasons. I don't know, everything. Yes, please. I think that's our ending.
Is it?
Yes,
That's it. Wait. Okay. I want to ask you. I should ask you a question.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
A game?
No, I'm not prepared for a game. When's my birthday? No, I'm just kidding. No, don't say that. No, that's personal information. No, I wanted to ask. Okay. This was. I guess we briefly touched up on it when we were talking about toxic friends, but how do you, in your 20s, deal with friend fights, because it's not cutting off that person, because that's it's like quitting and not quitting. It's not just that. Sometimes you just need to pause or because I like just thinking about it now, I don't think I've ever had in my friend group like a sit down where, hey, you hurt me and now but I still want to be your friend, but you have to apologize.
Why are you talking like that? Like like a gangster?
No. I don't think I've ever had that. It's more of we just didn't talk. Like if we had a disagreement or we fought, we just didn't talk, and then someone approaches you first or messages you first, and then it's forgotten. But I mean, I feel like we should be more comfortable confronting issues or like
confrontational people.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we're not, but also
we're more passive aggressive.
But in terms of personal growth, if like we should know when we've hurt someone with our actions, because sometimes we're not aware that we did that, or so what do you think? Like how do you resolve?
Yeah, for me, definitely, I don't think I've had that, a bitch fight where you talk with someone like that. But in friendship, right? But I've had a lot of that in relationships. In my relationship now, like I've mentioned, we have completely different personalities, views.
Oh, romantic
Not
relationship.
everything. Yeah. But yeah, fight happened, and I can't just, not deal with it just because I don't like dealing with it. But also, I mean, I'm like that. I'm like that in most situations. I don't really want to deal with a lot of confrontation. But in this relationship, knowing and willingly that I know that I want it to work, that's why I want to talk about things. So I'm the one in the relationship that would want to talk about it, our differences, yeah, and then let him know what I feel and why he hurt me, something like that lang. So
Communication.
sometimes it really escalates. It escalates talaga na, like, on the top of my head, like he wanted to change something that I do that I know that I can't change. So there's no middle ground in those situations, or in that situation you can't see the middle ground. So that's where you really fight, right? But I think it's just really the willingness that that even though you have a fight, no matter how big it is, the value of that friendship enough that
It's not
one
the
of
end
you
of it.
one of you would have to really take off that pride and say
Be the
sorry,
bigger
or
person.
be the bigger person. But also, like I've mentioned, it's always that pride also. If you both have that big pride, usually it would end up like imploding, right? No more friendship, right? But sometimes it's also just the time, or you just need the space so you can think something through in your
You
own
just need to
head.
cool off.
Right, cool. So I think, again, it depends, right? But I think for me it's more so the willingness of keeping that person in your life, and that I want this person in my life, so I am willing to really step back and to remove my pride and really forgive, or say sorry, right? So yeah, that's how, diba? You think of it so maturely when you're in this stage already. Whereas if you're like super petty pa, you're not mature enough, and you would just block
Yeah.
someone without talking about it, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, that's how different it is. That's how we are matured.
We are.
Adulting.
Are we?
We are. Mic drop.
Again, I think it's also a matter of like picking and choosing your battles.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If it's not irreparable damage done to you by a friend,
Mm-hmm.
if it's something that you can talk about, and you
Mm-hmm.
can settle by telling that person, hey, you did this, I didn't like it, and it's not for me to say you should change it, but I'm just
Mm-hmm.
telling you I didn't like it, and now it's up to you to decide what to do
Mm-hmm.
with that information, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it. But I should
Yeah.
learn from, being more confrontational, which doesn't always mean being hostile towards another person,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
being
Yeah.
able to communicate something, like if that person
Mm-hmm.
hurt me, especially if it's something that they have a tendency to repeat,
Mm-hmm.
thereby letting you experience that again in the future. um yeah, I guess we should take our own advice.
Yeah. Yeah. I
This is a
mean,
good podcast.
yeah. You see, learning for us, critical thinking for us.
Yes.
Yeah. So with that, we are ending this episode officially now, and hopefully this is 52 minutes long.
If not,
If
it's
not,
canceled.
it's canceled. Better luck next